Hello, everybody. My name is Shiloh Briggs. The organization I chose to do for this assignment was the Juvenile Diabetic Research Foundation. I'm going to go a little out of order with the questions, as my uniqueness and the reason I chose this foundation has to go to bed. My daughter here Juliana was diagnosed when she was 1 with type 1 diabetes. She's now in first grade, and through the JDRF, she was able to meet the vice president. Here's a picture here, and go to Congress during Children's Congress and advocate for money for research for type 1 diabetes. So the JDRF is the leading type 1 diabetic research organization in the world. They currently sponsor $568 million for scientific research across multiple countries, and their goal is to progressively remove the impact of type 1 diabetes from people's lives until we have a cure. Um, in the nonprofit sector categorization for NTEE, they would be categorized as Category 4 Health, Subcategory G, which is Disease, and they rely on a small paid staff with a small board and a lot of volunteers, specifically the Walk for the Cure volunteers. Additional or like organizations are the American Diabetic Association, the Joslin Diabetic Diabetes Center, and the Wellcome Trust. History of the JDRF: they were started in 1970 by parents of children who had type 1 diabetes in Philadelphia. It quickly spread to Florida, New Jersey, and then Washington, D.C., and just about every state in the U.S. now has a JDRF affiliate, as well as affiliates in 17 countries to include the UK, Canada, Australia, and the Netherlands. Their key areas of impact are research funding, uh, um, political advocacy, device development and implementation, and then their clinical trials, um, which are geared at finding the causes of type 1 diabetes. I threw in two slides here on what is type 1 diabetes, and some statistics regarding type 1 diabetes in America. Just quick highlight, it's an autoimmune disease. There's nothing you can do to prevent it, not like type 2, where it has a little bit to do with diet, lifestyle, and genetics. They don't know what causes type 1 diabetes, and there's nothing that the individual can do or to prevent or cause it. Currently, 3 million Americans live with type 1 diabetes. Um, and the prevalence of type 1 diabetes is on the rise. From 2001 to 2009, it rose 23%. Annually in America, we spend $14.9 million on type 1 diabetes and its treatment. The JDRF mission and vision: their mission is they are the leading global organization funding type 1 diabetes research. Their goal is to progressively remove the impact of the disease until we have a cure for it. And then their vision is that their highest priority remains funding research to deliver a cure and for type 1 diabetes and its complications. And then at the same time, they focus on developing better treatments that will transform the way people with type 1 diabetes live their lives currently. Major functions and services. Their major function is really research, the funding of research. They break that down into cure therapy research, treatment therapy research, prevention therapy research, and over those three spectrums, there's more than $100 million annually given by the JDRF for that research. They also work with devices and getting new medical devices quickly implemented to improve type 1 diabetic lives. They do clinical trial support in order to try to identify not only a cure, but what causes type 1 diabetes. They do a lot of fundraising through the Walk for the Cure that they do annually across the United States. They raise a lot of money, but since 1992, they raised over $1 billion and over $100 million in 2012 and 13. And then they advocate Congress for grants for continued money for research. Their organizational structure: they have a small staff. It accounts for 7.6% of their expenditures. They were rated an 85 by the Charity Navigator. They have a small board of volunteers. The international chairman is Mary Tyler Moore. The president and CEO of the JDRF is not compensated, but the executive officers are. The financials for the JDRF, they spent in 2013 $208 million, and they raised $206 million. What they spent their money on was primarily research and education, and how they raised their money is mostly through their fundraising. 123 of the $206 million was done through Walk for the Cure and other various fundraising events, and then they got $57 million from grants and gifts, etc. Their tax information: they are 501c3 tax-exempt corporation. All donations are tax deductible, and they do report to the IRS using the 990 form. I kind of already highlighted why they were unique to me and their inspiring results. It's organizations like the JDRF who do spend money on research that might not otherwise be received, because without this research, Americans like my daughter wouldn't have. She has a pump and CGM and all these devices that help her navigate first grade better. So that's why it's important to me. And I thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, please look up my slides. Thank you.